Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Medicom toy, the Mafex number 180. This is Zack Snyder's Justice League Cyborg. Now, this is a second version of Cyborg. There was one previously for the... It wasn't... Oh, it had to be Justice League. He wasn't in any movie prior to that. So there was a regular one. That was the Joss Whedon version of Justice League. So that's why this one isn't, say, like Cyborg 2.0 or anything like that. This is specifically for Zack Snyder's Justice League, or the Snyder Cut, the one that was on HBO Max there. So very excited. I do have Superman and I do have Batman. I will get Flash when it comes out, and I don't know, I'm trying to think, I don't think a Wonder Woman figure has gone up, unless I'm mistaken. I'll have to double check that. I missed out on the Aquaman figure, so I'd like to go back, or, you know, I may need to track that Aquaman figure down, and hopefully have, that way I would have the full Justice League from Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now, you know, I might be in the minority here, but I actually liked the Snyder Cut to Justice League. I wasn't a big fan of... I love Man of Steel. Wasn't a huge fan of Batman vs. Superman. But the director's cut or extended cut, whatever they called it, I did think was a better film overall. It made it make a little bit more sense. Joss Whedon's Justice League, I did enjoy at the time. You know, I was like, oh, I think this is kind of fun. But the Zack Snyder's Justice League, the Snyder Cut, I thought was definitely a better film overall. So I was really happy with it. So, you know, getting these figures is really cool, and I really enjoy them. I think Mafex does some great stuff. So, you know, here we go. So we're going to take a look at Cyborg. Shout out and thank you to Big Bad Toy Store for getting this out my way so I can review for you guys. Link in the video description below if you're looking to pick up this Cyborg. Batman is also available, and Superman is also available, and Superman is actually on sale. So make sure to check it out. Links in the video description below for those. And then, of course, Cyborg, if you're looking to pick it up. He's in stock. So we'll take a look at Cyborg. Looking at the box, you can see all the different poses and things like that. You can see we get a couple of different head sculpts. It looks like 3 head sculpts in total. Then we get those additional arms that'll go onto his back. Some swappable pieces and things like that. So let's go ahead and open this up and let's take a look at Cyborg. Okay, so here we have Cyborg out of the package. And this figure's kind of crazy. Like, I had no idea kind of what to expect with this figure. There was, you know, again, there was that first one that released a long time ago. I think it does share some of the same parts. I don't know exactly what. I don't have it to compare. But this guy is pretty crazy. Like, he's got this spear arm that you could change out with one of the arms. He's got these 2 gun blaster arms that you could just, you know, pull the forearm out, and you could swap these on there, which is pretty crazy. He does come with one of the mother boxes. It's just done in this, like, bronzish, like, color here. You get the 2 extra head sculpts, you know, one where he's kind of got the gritted teeth, and then one just kind of more stoic look there. He's got this shield type arm that you could swap out. I don't know if it's supposed to go on the right or it's supposed to go on the left. I feel like this probably goes on the right, but you got that shield there, so that's kind of cool looking. You get these pieces. These are the back pieces that you have to take out to put those additional arms there on his back. He's got the wide open hands, you got the relaxed hands, and then you kind of got these kind of clawed hands there in addition to the fists that already come on the figure. So you have all those there. And then you have this back piece there that I've already taken off. So you got the cover pieces that you pull off, and then you can get these arms on there. This thing is really cool that you could do that. I forgot exactly what he used it for in the movie. But one thing, though, is that it doesn't stay on the best because it has to port in 2 separate spots. And for whatever reason, on the right shoulder, it just doesn't want to get a nice flush port in there. It just doesn't fit in like you would want it to be, and sometimes when moving it around, it just pops the whole thing off, so just be aware of that. I do want to focus on this now before we kind of take a look at it later on. There's several different points of articulation. It is on a ball joint right at the spot where it connects to the back, so you could swivel it around for the most part, and you can kind of adjust a little bit, but mostly just swivel. Then there's another swivel here, and you can hinge this around on that arm, and then you can bend the elbow there as well. And if you look, you have these 2 wire pieces in there that move with it, so it looks like you have wiring in there, which is pretty crazy. And then you do have these hands in there which do swivel, and they hinge because they have ball joint wrists on there, so that's crazy. And if you look at these hands, it's kind of crazy. You get 3 fingers and then like 3 thumbs. I don't know what's going on with those, but those are pretty crazy. But yeah, that is the Cyborg figure, so let's go ahead and take a closer look at him. Okay, so here's an up-close look at Cyborg. So this is kind of the masked portion. At one point in the Snyder Cut, he puts it on, like when he's flying. He doesn't have it on very long, but it's just, I guess, kind of a signature look at there. And if you look at the way the light reflects on it, you can see like how they sculpted it, just like in the movie where you have a lot of different flat edges to kind of give it that full rounded look. So that is just really cool. And that kind of goes the same along with the rest of the figure. In there, we get a couple of different head sculpts, so let's go ahead and swap those out so you guys can see them now. So here's kind of the more relaxed head sculpt here. And you pop that on, and that looks pretty good. I think it looks fairly well to the actor, but you got that there going. And then you got the more angry head sculpt on there, and this is the one that we'll go ahead and leave on there for the rest of the video. And that looks pretty good there as well. There's some die cast to this. I don't know if that's something Mafex typically does with figures, but we do get die cast. I know for sure these feet are die cast because these guys are heavy and they're cold to the touch. I want to say the hip piece, I can't really tell. I want to say this hip piece is also metal die cast. I can't say 100% certainty that it is, but it sure... Nah, I'm bending it. Maybe it's not. It's just really hard plastic, maybe? Yeah, it's just a really hard plastic, I guess. Typically with Mafex figures, there's a little bit of give to them, and I just feel like this bad boy doesn't have as much give, so I was thinking maybe it's die cast, but no. I think it's just going to be the feet that are die cast on here. But look at the sculpted detail of this guy. Absolutely insane. Look at that body. That's just crazy. And then look on the back of the figure. Oh, that's where it ports in. I gotta put these plugs in there, as you can see. So to cover up those spots on his back, you just port these pieces back in like so, and it covers up, you know, those holes in there. So that looks pretty good. So that's how his back looks. And then just look at this detail. I mean, look at the sculpt. You got these little wire like pieces that stick out that are just crazy. I mean, just look at the sculpted detail throughout the whole figure is crazy. And look at these wires. You got wires in there that, you know, even when you bend with it, you could still see the wires kind of there. That's insane. That's just crazy. I forgot to mention, even here on the elbows, look at the elbows. There's just like a bunch of different like hydraulic pumps type things in there. It's just kind of insane. So the details are just nuts on this guy. Absolutely crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So let's go ahead and now take a look at his articulation. Okay, so those additional arms, I've already showed you guys kind of how those look. He can look up that much, so if you get him into some flight poses, that works out well. You can do that. You get some good head pivot going on in there, full rotation in that head, of course. He can look down that much there, so that works out really well. The shoulder pad you can kind of open up and move, as you can see there. So, you know, when you want to get the arm to go out, you can do so like so. You get a full rotation in that arm. There is the butterfly joint in there, so going back is only a little bit. Coming forward is a little bit, but you can't really get a whole lot of crossbody going in there, but you can move that arm around in there. You do have an upper bicep swivel in there. You get a single jointed elbow. You can't do a double jointed elbow on this guy, but you only get about a 90-degree bend there. Wrists swivel, and they do hinge. It is on a ball joint wrist, so you can swivel and hinge any which way you need. We got the diaphragm cut on this guy in the ball joint way, so using both together, you could tilt him to his left that much there. You could tilt him to the right that much there. Which is good, and then going back is not as much as we would typically see with Mafex figures there, and then coming forward, you can come forward that much there, which is a decent amount. You could swivel at that diaphragm, you could swivel at the ball joint waist. The hips do have a drop down, so you could drop the leg down that much there. As far as getting the legs apart, you can do the splits that much there. You can kick forward super duper duper high there. You can go back a little bit on that leg. You do get some thigh swivel in there. You get a single jointed knee that gives you that much bend there at the knee. And then because the foot is die cast, you could swivel around. You can hinge down very little. You can hinge up very little. And then you do have a tiny bit of hinge on the toe, but it's not a whole lot. So, like, at first I had to kind of like force one, but it's just very minimal that you have the toe articulation in there. So pretty crazy articulation scheme for Cyborg. I just can't get over the sculpt and how really crazy the sculpt of this guy is. It's just kind of nuts. I love the wiring that they did throughout the figure. That is just really cool how they pulled that off. Now, some of the pieces are swappable, so you could easily just pull on that forearm, and you can pull the arm off there. And so, like here, we've got the shield part, so you could just port... Oh, I don't think that's going to work. Will that work? No. No, that's not going to work. Okay, so that you can't port that on into the left arm. Can we do it onto the right arm? Oh, you know what? I think it's just a matter of how you port it on to the arm. No, that didn't work either. Oh, there we go. So there we go. So we have it on his arm. He can bend only so much, and then boom, you got the shield going there. Which I wish you can get it a little bit closer but that's the best that you're going to get it with the single jointed elbow. You can only force it so much there. But you also get like the blaster effect, so you can port the blaster onto the arms. Let's see, does it matter which one is which? Hopefully not, and I could just port on in there. So there we go. So you got the blast effect there, which is really cool. So you want to blast, and then if you want to use the shield to kind of protect himself, you can do that there. So it's kind of cool that you kind of have those swappable pieces there. Okay, side-by-side comparisons. Here we have Superman and Batman. Again, Zack Snyder's Justice League version, not the Joss Whedon version. I guess the Batman could kind of be the same. Superman for sure would be the Zack Snyder version, the Snyder cut, because he is in the black Superman suit there. But here we have the new Cyborg there. So again, I would love to get Aquaman. I missed out on it. I'll have to hunt one down and secure it a different way because it's not available at Big Bad Toy Store. Flash is available to pre-order. Joker is available to pre-order. I don't know if there's been any news on a Wonder Woman. Hopefully a new Wonder Woman will be coming. Otherwise, you would have to use one if they released one years ago in the past for the Justice League movie or for the Wonder Woman movie. Maybe, I know the Wonder Woman 84, there is one that is in stock at Big Bad Toy Store, but I would like to wait for a Snyder Cut version, not that gold armor one. But I think these look really good together. Again, I was a fan of the movie, so I'm looking forward to the other figures that are going to be coming out. I'm not sure which one's going to be expected to be next. Probably going to be the Flash. While I did not like the Flash in his own movie, in this particular movie, I actually really did enjoy the scene, especially the Speed Force scene towards the end of the movie in the battle, where he reverses time. I thought that scene was pretty awesome. It's just unfortunate, you know, the turn that Ezra Miller had in his personal life and becoming, you know, not a great guy, which is too bad. But anyway, here is 3 of the 5 members of the Justice League. Okay, so that is my review of the Zack Snyder's Justice League Cyborg. I really like it. Crazy, insane details in the sculpt work and everything like that. The accessories are really cool. We get die-cast feet, so that is pretty awesome to see in a Mafex figure. But I did really like Victor Stone's story in Justice League. You know, he doesn't get quite as much shine in the Joss Whedon version. And I think that presented some issues, you know, especially with like Joss Whedon's reported behavior on set and whatnot. So it's just kind of unfortunate kind of how everything went down that way. But if you haven't, you know, give the Snyder Cut a shot. It is 4 hours on HBO Max, which is pretty crazy. The whole movie isn't perfect. There's some cringe moments for sure, like the singing when Aquaman's in the water in wherever it is. Like, it's really weird. Like, I didn't like it. But the majority of the movie I did really enjoy. So there's some really cool stuff. But you guys give me your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you think of the Snyder Cut, Zack Snyder's Justice League? What do you think of this Mafex Cyborg figure? Do you have the first Mafex Cyborg figure and the second one? What are your thoughts between the two on kind of the designs and some of the different things that he ended up doing in the newer version of the film compared to the original theatrical release? I think it's pretty interesting. But you guys give me your thoughts down in the comments below. Again, if you're looking to pick up this Cyborg figure, link in the video description below. It is currently in stock right now at Big Bad Toy Store. Batman is also in stock, and then Superman is in stock and on sale. So links in the video description below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and as always, thank you for watching.